Let's see if we are alive. We get alive in the next seconds. One second, let's see if we got alive. Yay, we are alive. Okay, let me just confirm that my microphone is working. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have some delay issues. Let's fix that. So yeah, let me just adjust this small issue with the delay of the microphone so everybody can hear me a bit better. So just a second. It'll be okay. Probably now it's better. Okay. Let's see if I can move like this. So if it gets very outdated, I will need to fix it later. Okay. Yes, Attila. So welcome, Attila, and thanks for joining. I tried several configurations and it was working fine, but I tested with my other camera and then now I got this issue here. Yes, so yeah, let me just mute myself. I was just testing and looking if the microphone was good and everything. And today, the idea is we evolve to get some fast insights about what we are going to connect and everything. So what we have here until now is this bin/console, and I can pass some Postgres URI, and then I will get into this timescale environment. If I call here list, I can see I have access to a few things like classes and also a few methods like let's say, I'm sorry, these instance methods. So if I call here, for example, chunks, I can see like I have only one chunk. I can ask hypertables and I'll get all details of the hypertables. And we have also a lot of other different, I see my streaming is not working fine. And I don't know exactly what's going on. If the upstream is okay, Attila, if you can give me any feedback about the quality or if this is breaking up. Let me just open my bandwidth plus here so I can check the uploads and everything. And yeah, so let's see if it's going fine or not. Looks like it's breaking up, at least when I get the feedback here. It's not working as I expected, so super laggy for me. Oh yeah. So yeah, and yeah, the quality is not going well. So let's get my friends here that can support me on this journey, and let me just try to figure out if I can switch some and improve some stream rates here. So maybe I can just make it a bit better. Okay. Just a second. Yeah, looks like I cannot rescale, but yeah. So if this is coming laggy as it is now, probably you're not going to be able to follow this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it will worth for us to be streaming here. So I think I will just I will just see if we can what we can do. But basically, uh, I see that my streaming is not going well. Let me just to try to adjust the delay once more and see if we can continue. Otherwise, we can just go and yeah. Let's see. I put now 1,200 milliseconds. So let's see what it turns. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Looks like. Okay. So okay, let's see what we can get out of it. I will also try to be recording it locally, so I can also see that I am streaming and recording. And yeah, let's see what we can do here. And let's recapitulate our idea here. So we have the timescale gem, and the timescale gem today covers several steps of fetching data from timescale internals. And we actually have like this bin/console that is like a command line application to play with this. So let's take a look on this. So this is a very simple script that is also uh, coming from the bundle new. So when I use this bin/console, I'm basically using pry here. And the tricky part here is that I am starting pry from the uh, timescale class. So generally, when you are in the code, you have like a pry, and then you can say binding pry, whatever you are, and then you are inside some context. So here is the same, but just to start the command line from here. And here we have this small thing that can just set up some hypertable models dynamically, and it help us to just make these small accessible models to be working in any database that we want. So for example, uh, if I come here and I just say bin/console playground, I will have like hypertables.map commerce name, and hypertable name. And then it will show the hypertable names, for example. But let's say if I join here some other cloud, so I can just try here NFL URI. Oops, got some error in bin/console. Yeah, and then if I get here, for example, NFL URI is like the database that we use for NFL blog posts, and Miranda is covering several things here, and I can also connect there. So if I do this, I am connecting to this database, and then I will have access to all the models there and everything. So yeah, I hope it works. For some reason, it's just breaking up and yeah, delaying. And here we go. So, and now if I try here, hypertable, I just have the tracking one. And if I try here, for example, tracking.first, I get the data from tracking fields. But I can see here, for example, tracking.chunks. That's quite cool. And yeah, so, and I can see all the chunks information and everything. So as we call here, like bin/console NFL URI, my idea is build like bin/tsdb here, and then I have like the URI, and then I can have some comments here, for example, stats. And stats could be just bringing data, exposing, let's say, exposing hypertable size, chunk sizes, anything that's interesting. Or I can say here, for example, minus jobs, and it will also list out the jobs. Or I can say like minus console, and then I will join that command line that we have on bin/console. So that's the idea, that what we are going to build today, and that's what we expect it to be making to work. So we can think about start with this minus console, that is exactly where we are, and then we can bring the other minus things that can be even like combining them. Like I can say minus stats, and then I join the console there. So I can do something like that. So let's start with this idea. So this is the basic thing that we are going to do, and let's see what we can get here. So the first thing that we need to do is create it. So create the file. So let's just bin/tsdb, and then we can say here real r to read, and then I can just call console here, and I already have a good start. And this is like the basics. So I can just think that I have a similar structure. I will not allow people to get it from .env, because this will be published. So people will need to pass this param as the first param. And then I can just say here, for example, if argv.index minus console, I can require pry and start. And let's see what I get here. chmod plus x on bin tsdb. So now I can call tsdb, and then I can see here, let me get console, and then I can just switch because it will be fast. tsdb. Okay, so I have this playground now, and when I call it, it should just run and load and continue and not do nothing. But if I call here console, I will join the console, and now I can just say chunks. Fine. Cool. And then now we can just build the extra functionalities that we are going to have here. And we can have here several other stuff. So if I index, for example, minus stats, I can show database size. So let's call it show stats. And this show stats can also be something that we can put inside our library because it's something cool. So we can say here timescale.show stats, and we can also just think that we are going to pre-print it. So we can call inspect for now, and then later we can call something better. So now if I call show stats, oh, sorry, it's not show stats, it's just stats. Yeah, I have a missing module. So in this way, we can just split the logic and keep it like in a way that we can also recover, confirm that it works as we want. And so let's start implementing this. So lib timescale, and here we are going to have some function here, for example, and this will be stats. Stats. So here we can just create like a stats report.new, and then we can just call it. Oops. I don't know what I did. Welcome to the VI world. So let's just do def job stats. Sorry, it's not job stats. Show stats. And then here, let's just print stats. So we can just confirm that we have it working. Yay, cool. So our function returned new, and that's what not exactly what we want, but we can stats. We can just return the stats here, and this is where we'll get the stats in the command line. Okay, so now we have like a preprint, but we can also think about this TSDB as something that we can improve this just by doing show stats here. Okay, so I can just use, oh, I'm just using puts. Yeah, I can just say show stats, and it should be what we expect. Okay. Okay, so let's see what we can get, how we can move from show stats now. And we will need to create like a new thing here. For example, let's say here we are going to create like a database stats, or we can say just stats as like a report stats dot report. So that's our class, and that's how it will work. And let's say like here we are just like creating some new model that will not be a representation of our thing. So yeah, I think like stats report will work better. Dot fetch, or like resume. let's call it resume, so it will be easy to think. And we also needed to create the file here. So let's think that we'll get like report stats. Oops, it's stats report. And now we need to create lib timescale stats report.rb. So module timescale class stats report. Indeed, we don't need a class here, but let's go with class initially. So yeah, we can just call it module, and we can say here module function and call resume. And now I can just say here hypertable hypertables, and then I can call here hypertable, for example, hypertable.count. I can also get like size hypertables. Let's make it count, and I can call size here. Size is chunks, and I can just call here the number of chunks I have. So chunks.count. So let's break it, and then I have chunks, and here I can say like total is this, and I can also say compressed, and I can just start chunk. So here in the chunk I have this compressed and compressed, so we can use this chunk compressed count, and I can also call compressed and just say chunks chunk compressed count. So a small beginning, like we have chunks, and then now works. So we have this, and we have hypertables, and now we have stats report that has the resume function, and here resume. So we call show stats that calls stats report dot resume, and resume returns this very nice thing here. So if we call it in the command line now, stats, let's see. Okay, compressed the one hypertable and everything. So this is like the stats from a single hypertable. And yes, so okay, so we got like compressed and compressed, and now we have this total amount of chunks, total compressed, total uncompressed, and we can also get more details, like here I can say like compressed. Let's call it now, because we are talking about specifically about hypertables here. So I think we can also say here like size, and then I can just say total compressed. I can just say before compressing, and I can do the same, like total. Let's call just size before compressing, size after compressing. So after compressing. So this is the two things that we can build now. So let's get what we need here. Bin slash console. Oops, not console. Console. Okay, so let's see what we have in console. We can get here chunk stats. Oh, what's the name? Job stats. Job stats. But I think like we have another thing that is like uh, the other functions that we have here is like compress chunk, the compressed chunk. But I think we have something that says like chunk detailed size. So let me get just a new tab and let's do some search on the web. Chunk compression stats. Okay, so Jack get specific values from hypertable name, chunk compression stats. So this is compression stats. So what we have here is like compression settings. I think I got it before, but looks like it's not the case. So let's just find it. Okay, so I have here hypertable compression stats per hypertable. So let's see what it looks like, and let's see what we can get from it. So hypertable compression stats. So if I get here hypertables, first compression stats. Oh, I don't compress anything. So let's get hypertables, chunks dot first dot compress. That's so cool. Oh, compression is not enabled. So I need to enable compression. And so for enabling compression, I need to do something else here. So I think like I don't want to enable compression here, and this is like my playground database. I'm getting confused with PSQL now. So let's move on a database that I have compression enabled. So bin slash tsdb, and now I can call here docs URI. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what I have here. So now if I try get your compression stats. Oh, let's compress first chunk. Oh, chunks, hypertables. Oh, I have more than one. And the first one, that first. Oh, that's not the one that I want. I would like to get the one that is page. Hypertable name is page. So let me get here. Okay, so let's call it t equal underscore dot first, so it will get the previous thing and just have it t dot chunks. So here I have chunks. Yes, yes. And I can also get compression stats here. So we need to be prepared for these that are like not compressed. So and so this in this case we have a lot of cool details like before compression, after compression. So let's do something here. When we get it, we can also use active support to show it like megabytes or something. So let's get like bytes to description active support. Oh, we have it on numeric. And yeah, very cool, very cool. So I can just call it like .bytes, and then probably I can just show it. So if I get here first dot number before compression, oops, so this is the CS compression sets, CS dot before compression. Okay, for some reason I got the wrong thing here. CS dot this looks like something like this. So let's just confirm. Maybe I'm not accessing it. Yes. So now I can just call it bytes, for example. Why I cannot use it? I need to require. So let's require. Active support's not loaded. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I am dumb here. We don't need this. This is like the folder of the gem, not the name. So now probably I can call it bytes 2s. To what? Let's see if I can have like 2 sentences. Okay, so when I have bytes, I can just calculate with bytes, but looks like I don't have anything here that can help me to move on. Bytes. Let's see. I have this numeric with format, so I can say 2s, and then I can call it something. And I can say human size. Amazing. So let's say 2s human size. Okay, no implicit conversion from bytes to string. Oh, I forgot this. So okay, so for some reason 2s human size. I don't need the bytes here. Yeah, for some reason this is like numeric with format. So yeah, I need to have these conversions enabled. So let's see if that's the case. Requiring. And that's what I love on working with Ruby, that I can just continue adding stuff here, requiring, and then I can try again, and it works. Yay! So before compression, I have 1.8 gigs, and after compression, I have 43 megabytes. That's amazing. So very cool. It works, and that's what we want. So let's see if we can just put these ideas into somewhere else, and we can just say something like this. So I have the compression status for some cases, and I can just make something here. So, and let's see. Okay. Okay, so we have the hypertable enabled. We have everything in place, so we can just go and try this. So here we are going to do compression settings, compression stats. For some reason, I thought that we have like compression stats, but it's like a function, compression stats, that is on the hypertable. Every hypertable has its own compression stats, and then we have like this thing on every hyper that we can do it directly. But let's reuse our things here. So let's just call here hypertables dot all map. We can just do map here, and then we can just call here every hypertable. So let's call compression stats dot first, and then we have this before compression stats. And what we are going to do here is do like a sum. So we can just like inject here. Yeah, let's make it simple. So we are going to do hypertable all for compression total bytes. And I think it maybe can be done on the level of the hypertable instead of moving it here, because like I could just say like before total bytes, after total bytes, and it would be much cool to see it. So let's just move it there. So we can just say here h before total bytes. And that's the part that is cool when we can decompose code with some language. So we are calling compress stats, and then the first one, and if we don't have the total bytes before compression, we need to put something there. So get total bytes compressed, and here we'll have the after total bytes, and this after. Oh, I see this first that is useless, as we will always have only one result. So let me just make it here. Okay. And now we have this get total bytes compressed, get bytes compressed, and so on. And if this is nil, we'll have this total bytes, and here we'll have 0, because if we are not compressing, doesn't matter too much. So we are going to say 0. And then in our report, we can just say before total bytes, and then we can just say dot inject here a plus between the elements and call to s. So we are summing data here. And the same will be for after and then we can also think that some of the tables will not be compressed, so yeah, so maybe we can add that later. So let's see what we get now before compressing, after compressing. So if I just do a reload here, I can try to get the stats. Oops, I get an error. Line 7, we are with a problem in the line 13. I forgot to put the comma here. Okay, let's see. We are in the middle of this, so now we have this timescale stats report resume, and okay, we have a problem with this because here in the hyper table we tried to access some open thing here, so we need to say here like open struct, and yeah, that will solve our issue. So let's do again, reload it, and see. We could also try directly the minus stats. I forgot about it, but let's see. Define it, get total bytes uncompressed. Okay, so now we have for B. So let's just move to Google and just find this. Get hyper table size when not compressed. I forgot to say timescale. Let's see how Google ranks it. Hyper table, detailed size. Maybe that's what we were missing. So we have disk used in the main table, disk used by indexes, disk by total bytes used by a specific table. Okay, cool. So if we get here total bytes of the table, we can also get this. So so let's see how it works in the command line first. So we can just see. So if I call here, oh, I don't need everything, sorry. So what we need is this part. So we want to have this for pages, and let's see. Okay, so I have everything here, but for example, events, I don't have. I have the total bytes and \d events. Yeah, this is a hyper table, but it does not have compression things. So we can use hyper table detailed size to get this information when we don't get it. So so this is something that we don't get here into our hyper table yet. So now I found we have the here it should be chunks detailed size, and these should be detailed for the hyper tables, because this is exactly what we are doing here, and we can just think about using the self hyper table name here and just close it and dot first, and that's what we want. So now the detailed size we'll have this. So I can just say detailed size dot total bytes. Okay, let's see what we got here. I should start using other things. So, but yeah. Okay, we don't have a specific 2S conversion. Oh, right, 2S. We need to require that module here, require support conversions, otherwise it will not overload it. Okay, so now we can try it again. Let's start using the minus stats as we have it. So minus stats is going to just print what we have and just exit from the command line as we don't need it. So let's see. Okay, now we have before, after compressing, and as you can see here, just like we are putting everything here, and we are not getting like detailed of hypertables, and I think like we can just have something here like uncompressed that we can just try to call here, for example, hypertable dot all dot select. I can even call here count will not work, but I can say to a dot select account, and then I can put some block here that's the hypertable. If the hypertable compression stats dot empty, I know that they don't have like a compression, so they are compressed, and that's like something that we can just add. So let's see if we can get here how many compressed hypertables we have, how many uncompressed we have. So that's also another cool addition that we can have and see, and we can start moving forward. Okay, so we have here hypertables and one is uncompressed, and that's great. So now we have much more data. We have like the total that is compressed, total uncompressed, and we can also uh, say like the dimensions, like how much is compressed, how much is uncompressed, like some percentage or something. Let's move it to pretty print because this is just getting boring now. Like I have here, sorry, the SDB. So this is our command line, and here we can start using pp. So let's see how it goes with pp. pp is like pretty print, a shortcut in the Ruby ecosystem. So yeah, it's very common used to just break lines and make this a small, let's say, indentation, so you can get more interesting details. So and now we can also get like, for example, let's just test it with another 𝗏𝗏 here, NFL 𝗏𝗏, and yeah, and maybe it will be different. Like I'm testing something new here that is also very big. So let's see how it's going. The outscaling one. So I have a few arrays from different cloud systems, and yeah, so this is a bit huge, as you can see here. I am around almost 10 terabytes, and compressing it's like 1.5. So quite cool. And yeah, this is where we are going, and everything is into this direction. So we see that it's working fine, and we can easily navigate, get some details, and now we can also think about other things that is cool, not only hypertables, but also, for example, continuous aggregates. And then we have something here, and we will also have something for job stats here, for example, that's quite interesting. And maybe we can just think about more details later. So let's put continuous aggregates so we can say how many continuous aggregates we have. So count. So it will be continuous aggregates dot count. And for job stats, we can just say job stats. I think job stats is cool because we have we have some success scheduled, and so I guess we also can get like running or something. So that's quite cool. So we can just call like success.are scheduled and just say here, so success job stats dot success count, and I can also scheduled, so I can say job stats scheduled all count. Sorry, getting confused. So yeah, so now we have the count, the job stats here also, and let's see if it works. So I got this out scaling because I know it has some jobs running in the background. It has even like custom jobs and everything. So yeah, that's also something that we can be exploring later. Okay, just a moment. I will get some water. Oh mãe, oh mãe, pega pra mim uma aguinha. Pode ser da torneira. Okay, so moving to this direction, we see like let's just jump into the console here so we can check this job stats thing. So let me get my water. Okay, so let's see how is going this big boy. This big database. Yeah, so in this case we have here job stats, and this is like the most easy way to get all the jobs. And we have this association with the job ID. So let's get jobs.all and just see what we have. So we have this telemetry, we have user defined the actions, and then maybe maybe this can be like the proc name, and then like we see the job stats of the proc name, and so let's just see here what we can get. So if we call jobs, and then we just we need to call job stats. So let me just confirm job stats. Okay, so yeah, maybe we could also collect this total runs and total success and failures and count them, sum them. So if I call here dot sum total success. Yeah, and oh, I cannot do that. Okay. As success and select oh, I'm sorry, this select is crazy. This is not duplicated, this is like the query. So if I do this, yeah, 2A. Oh, I cannot do that. Ah, I don't need to replicate the select twice. Maybe that's the case. I'm still not sure if this job stats is not a function, but I think it's a 2A dot map attributes. Yeah, it works. So I just need to put some name here as failures, for example, and then I have what I want. Okay, so this is the thing that we want to build, and then we can also just plug the first elements here. So job stats, instead of just calling them, we can also think about this as this thing. So we can just call it directly here. So in this case, I build that shortcuts, but I also have the class names. So it will work dot first. I don't need to have all because job stats is for all. So I am just summarizing the values there. And this is also something that maybe it's worth that we can just say here, summarize resume. Let's use the resume, and then we can just move these to job stats. So it will be much cool to just see here def scope resume, and then this scope resume is something like this. Okay, so this is what we need to have the job stats resume. So if I think it would be great if we get like first here, and then we do like transform keys to scene. I don't like this, but yeah, this is much like convenient with our stuff. So let's also add this, and let me make this extra things here. So I missed copying this just to make it easy. I would write it fast. Okay, so we are going to have this, and then this select here. We have total success, total failures, and now we can also check this. So this is something that will also pop up here in the minus stats. So let's see. Oh, welcome everybody that's watching the stream. If you have any comments, anything that you like, just or any other ideas for what we can put here inside the resume, it would be great. So we have the counters, we have job stats, And the funny part here is that it says success 3 scheduled, but it seems like we missed something because I see that we have the total runs, and the total runs is just the sum. But the funny part is like why we don't have this. So this was done into, just confirming, we have the outscaling machine here. So yes, and this outscaling machine says total runs is success is 2 and scheduled, but the job stats here says that we have several job stats. So maybe this is this first thing here is not exactly what we want. So, and let me just get here something different. So we need to map this e.attributes.transform keys and iterate over all of them and just report them all. So let's see if it works, because I missed this the rest of the values. When I see 3, I was like, whoa, I see 1,000 there. So yeah, probably we need to see. And I also we maybe that was not the case. So let's just confirm here, because what we put here into our resume is just job stats.resume, and we are not like filtering anything now. We are just selecting. So we say sum of total and sum of total failures, and we map this. So we don't have. So let's just do it with the console again. Console. That's the funny part, debugging. We need to find ways to learn, and also sometimes like that's not very ready. So maybe some hard-coded things from past. So if I try here job stats, I have exactly these two things, but if I try just job stats, and I have these total runs that in total success. So let's just call here select total success sum. Okay, to SQL. It looks fine. So if we run it, oh, sorry, I missed something here. Successes. I need to map the attributes. Okay. Okay. My construction building is back, and yeah, so it will mess with everything from now. And yeah. So anyway, that was the main point here. I get the sum, and this sum doesn't look fair. Like let me just think that this is let me use uh, a value here, and as you can see, we have this 800, but for some reason before we get this weird, maybe that was basically the notation that was not good enough. But yeah, we see 3, and that's not 3 really. So if I say, for example, maybe that was the problem, let me just to see. I don't see any chance that it's the problem, but if I just try it again and I call here, I don't need to minus the stats here. Let's just test what we need. and we can just hold job stats, sorry. Okay, job stats resume. Yeah, so now the numbers looks fair. Yeah, probably something went wrong with this integer typecasting, but that's very weird. And let's get here total runs, and let's see now. Oops, let me just try again. And now probably we are going to see it as we want. So that's about it. Funny that it's still showing this these values, and it was really not showing the runs that we had. I probably missed writing the file. Okay, and we have a few people in chat. So hello everybody. Funny. I'm not using the resume. That's the problem, probably. Let's go. Show stats. Job stats dot resume. And if I come here, maybe I was missing something here. Oh yes, now I see everything, and everything is fine. So we have the total runs, total success, and sometimes when it fails, we also have the failure stuff. And we can just make it more beautiful if we want to make it more easy to read and make it a really dashboard. So that's what we have for today's session, and I hope you liked it. I will be committing everything now, and also going to be adding it. So git add bin tsdb bin slash timescale. Oh, sorry. Lib timescale, lib folder as all. Oh, lib. And let's add something to the README to make it clear that now you can also use this command. But to be using this command, you can also just use gem install and then use the command. You will be using something like this. And I think like the bin console will be not very useful. So we can just bin backslash console. So we can just call tsdb here, and then it will be much easier. So bin slash console. Okay. So when we call tsdb, it will work. And here today we are calling like bin slash tsdb in some cases, but in this case, we are now going to do some very cool change that is on Timescale 𝗔𝗶𝗆. And here we have this executable jar file, and here it's like getting files and grabbing for a z folder. In our case, we are going to just get bin slash tsdb. And that's like the only executable we want to export. So what it will make now? So if if I do here like rake install, now I have it. Yay, what's going on? Okay, so it's messing around. Let's just get the easy folder. Let me just close this. No, I don't need to create the easy folder. Let's go to Timescale 𝗧𝗶𝗺 again. Easy bin_dir. So the bin_dir is /bin. Exactly, and then we have bin/tsdb. Okay, so now we have everything. Let's try again rake install. So rake install will package the gem and generate it and make everything works. And now we have it installed. So I have tsdb here, and it will fail because I don't have the command line. But I can say here, for example, and I can call stats. Yes, let's see. Delaying a lot. Sorry for that. Okay, so now I have this running. Good. Okay, so and this is the command that we want. So we need to talk about it into our README file. So let's go. Then bundle install, rake install, then with rake install or installing the gem your computer, you can run tsdb for an interactive prompt. Okay, so Postgres, let's get here, for example, this one. So I can just say something like this, and then people can imagine that this is what they need to do. So they need to just put it here like this, and then they can say here minus stats, minus flags, and so on. Okay, so now we have this basic setup, and this is also going to be useful for people that want to get started and run the tests locally. So this is the start. You can also use tsdb without any parameter. It will connect on the URI. It's not more true, so let's remove it. You can put some alternatively. It's not alternatively. You can put some Postgres URI direct as parameter of the SDB. Here is an example of my console. So of the console, okay. TSDB, I think we need to say here TSDB minus help, and then we need to just show everything. So I would introduce it in some future session, so we can just call here console. Let's copy this. And then we can call here minus console to join So and now we can just put it here. So we are going to just make the stats and also check the stats. So we can just say minus minus stats, and that's very cool. And okay, so let's just try to run this line. Yay, I have. Let me also put some details like actual. This is a sample output from an almost empty database. Yeah, so we can just see it as like Ruby, so it will be formatted as we expected and everything else. Okay, okay. Here we go. And if we go now, we don't have it like this is now this TSDB. We need to make sure like we are aware of what we are doing, because like rake install will install it locally, so we are not using it from like bin/tsdb. So that's a small issue, so we need to be careful with that. And yeah, so if we try like this, it should be fast and work, and that's what we can do for now. Okay, so uh, I think this is a very good start for the console application and for checking results and everything. And I hope to be adding more and more small tasks, like very fragmented things that can be sustainable together or running alone. So we can just make it like easy to just find something, understand the size, or connect and check whatever we want inside a database. I feel like several times when I use like plain SQL, I lost time and I like to organize my Ruby scripts around it. So maybe in the future we will also introduce some shortcuts and other stuff that will make it really easy to go into the flow. So I see a few users. Thank you for watching. If you are watching it on YouTube, leave a comment as well. And I hope to see you in the next session next Tuesday. So bye. And I will also be tomorrow alive with I forget about it, so let's stay a bit more. I'll be tomorrow alive with Ryan Bulls here, and we are going to be covering um, TSBS, that is the time series benchmark suite that covers several databases, and we are going to be talking about the new observability extension that we added, and now we stream everything to everything related to benchmarks. We are streaming to Prometheus, and we can have a beautiful Grafana a presentation of how it's going the machine while inserting very huge amounts and data loads. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you next week, and yeah, see you soon.